So hello and welcome to another instalment of Rockstar Games' Lost Media. Now for this episode we're going to be primarily focusing on cancelled projects after the first entry. And same thing applies as previous episodes. If there's something you think I haven't covered, please check the previous ones because I probably have. But with that out the way, let's begin. Here we have a hell of a lot of Midnight Club 2 material that is just seemingly lost entirely, and I do mean a lot. Because Midnight Club 2 was released in the earlier days of the internet, most of this only have URLs that don't really lead anywhere, or archives that didn't archive the entire thing. So let's go over the promotional stuff. So most of this was compiled by Mary Wings on the Lost Media Discord. The stuff that is completely lost is on Rockstar's own site. There is a Shockwave flash file from 23rd July 2002, many months before Midnight Club 2 even released, and is likely some sort of early teaser trailer. Going to the archived URL results in an error screen because the SWF file was not archived. The next lot come from the site Games Domain UK, which have a lot of missing videos and were hosted on an FTP site. The URLs can be accessed, as can the original webpage, but when you click on any of the video links, they just lead to a dead end. We have 5 videos here, and going off the file names we can get an idea on what they were. Brief showcases of Outpost, LA, Paris and Tokyo, and even a snippet of Midnight Club 2 online. None of these videos seem to have been properly archived. The third one is partially found, and it's from Australia, because Rockstar had teamed up with PlayStation and AutoSalon and held a contest for a Nissan 180 SX, with the only remains of this being some magazine scans which were found in the official PlayStation 2 magazine, of course in Australia only, and these were mentioned for issues 13 to 18, and these were found by Andre4054, which do give us a good look at the car you could have won, but unfortunately the site itself is gone. So we have the magazine scans, but the site itself isn't archived, nor do we have any high quality photos of the final car. We have the photos of it when it was being made, but none of the final one. Some of you might be a bit confused as to why I'm talking about the finalised version of the car. And the reason I bring that up is because, well, if you're familiar with Midnight Club LA, Rockstar did a giveaway for a Mustang Celine which did have a very unique Rockstar touch to it, to look like the one on the cover. So we really don't know if this Nissan was a one-of-a-kind job with a custom Rockstar touch to it, or if it was just any old Nissan you could have bought at any dealership at the time. The next bit of lost promotional material is from the company Hornet, who actually did some vehicle renders for Midnight Club 2. Now the site can be visited by the Wayback Machine, and does list many of the clients they've worked with at the time. But when it comes to Rockstar's section on the site, some of the pictures are still there and have been fully archived, but the 50-second promotional video they shot is lost. Now some have noted the third picture does appear in a TV ad that aired in the United States, so it could be possible this is an extended ad, especially since the Hornet video is 50 seconds long and the TV ad is only 30. Similar to Hornet, the next one is from Charlex, which was an animation studio that also helped work on Midnight Club 2, and they had some work on their site, but all of it is currently gone. The URL is still there however. Now for the final part of this segment, it's not the most exciting bit of Midnight Club Lost Media, but it seems to be the translations of the Midnight Club promotional site. The German, French and Italian versions just, well, have never been properly archived, and all of them do use different URLs, which is probably why they weren't fully archived. For example, Germany had midnightclub2.de, France had midnightclub2-leju, and Italy's for some reason was hosted on Take-Two's Italian site. They did not even get their own domain. Now the thing is, these sites have been archived, but it only seems to be the homepage. Clicking anything else just kinda goes nowhere. Now the English version of the site has been fully archived and works just exactly as it did back when Midnight Club 2 was released. So it is assumed the only real changes are just the translations. Shortly after GTA Vice City released, the team at Rockstar North were feeling a little bit burnt out on GTA, since GTA was pretty much the only thing they had worked on for about the past 5 years, and they wanted to work on just something else for once, alongside developing Manhunt, which was also in development around the same time GTA Vice City had finished up. And one game idea they came up with was a game simply called Z. Just the letter Z and pronounced Z, not Z, which was a zombie survival horror game. The game's premise was that it would take place on a foggy island in Scotland and had a strong emphasis on survival, and it stated a core element of the gameplay was going to be vehicles and needing to fuel them somehow, and the player would constantly be under attack from zombies too, which to me sounds a bit similar to games like DayZ and State of Decay. However, Z was very short-lived, as according to Abe Verme, Z lasted about a month in development before it was canned, and in his own words, the idea seemed depressing and we quickly ran out of steam. Even the people who originally coined the idea lost faith. We dropped the idea and just got on with San Andreas. Now Abe also mentioned that Z, similar to San Andreas, Liberty City Stories and even Bully, was going to be built up off of GTA 5 City's code. It's also funny in a way because he also mentioned that the GTA fatigue was kicking in even more after they finished work on San Andreas. So they got down to working on Agent before that too got canned, and they were all put to working on GTA again. But unlike many other canned games we've covered in this series, this one is definitely never seeing the light of day. A singular month in development before it got canned is absolutely nowhere near playable. I don't even think a proof of concept would have been done at that time. But some do wonder if maybe Z was a bit of an inspiration for Red Dead Redemption Undead Nightmare, since that was Rockstar's true first zombie game. Okay, so this entry doubles as both lost media and cut content. Now, I don't really want to cover cut content in this series because cut content isn't usually lost media and is cut for whatever reason. But as we cover Cops and Crooks, it'll become more and more clear. So back in the days of GTA 4's multiplayer, the Cops and Crooks game mode was very, very popular by many who played it. And when GTA 5 released, it was notably absent from any and all game modes. And for a very long time, many players wanted Cops and Crooks to be added. It was a very highly requested game mode. Well, as it turns out, it was planned to be added twice, and cancelled twice. The first iteration of Cops and Crooks is cut content from an early version of GTA 5's multiplayer, where the online was going to be much more similar to that of GTA 4. And many early concepts were found on developer portfolios and a couple in the game files, which do show off early menus and such. Now this was overhauled and removed when Rockstar changed the direction of GTA Online, going from the same GTA 4 approach to a rise from the top kind of game, with a slight story-like approach to it. Now I'm not going to go over this cut content because, well, this is a lost media video and somebody else has probably documented this better than me. But to stick with the lost media aspect, Rockstar really wanted to add in Cops and Crooks to GTA Online somehow. But in this new and at the time experimental path GTA Online was heading in, it was unclear how they'd incorporate Cops and Crooks, since GTA Online was about going from a no-good street criminal to building your empire all the way to the top. A mode where you're just suddenly a cop just wasn't fitting in this new direction. Plus the PS3 and 360 held GTA Online back considerably. And slight script break here, but yes, I do know that GTA Online does have these weird wacky game modes like the zombie survivals in North Yankton, Cayo Perico, the Beast vs Slasher stuff, but this was at a time when GTA Online was a bit more grounded to GTA 5's main theme. Anyway, back on topic. Now, the second iteration of Cops and Crooks was a fully fledged update that was scheduled to release in 2020, according to leaked files from the GTA source code leak. Cops and Crooks was in development since 2019, and it was codenamed MP Arc 1, meaning multiplayer and arcades, so you would need one of them to somehow gain access to any missions or modes. The DLC would have also reintroduced the Bluff game mode from GTA 4 again. The Crooks would try to steal as much as they could and cause general havoc around Los Santos, while the cops would try to stop them by killing them or arresting them somehow. It's also implied the Cops and Crooks update would have had a progression system similar to that of Arena Wars, and would have its own unique mechanics, custom loadouts, progression system, currencies and more. There would be dispatch work that would be added to free mode, such as bomb disposals, escort missions and strongholds, which a couple of these would get re-added in a future update, but we'll cover that down the line. The weapons that were going to be included in this update were going to be a police baton, a police rifle, a riot variation of the shotgun and an SMG, the stun gun, tear gas Mark II, which I'm not sure how that would even work, alongside flash and stun grenades. And the same goes for many outfits. There'd be many police and sheriff themed outfits, both male and female characters alike. Other additions would include police badges being added as a collectible to free mode. There'd be over 50 of them scattered around the map, and finding all 50 would give you a new outfit. And there would be another collectible where there'd be LSPD recruitment posters put up around the map, which you would need to tag over, similar to the Ballers tags from GTA San Andreas. Now the thing with Cops and Crooks is it was quietly cancelled behind the scenes, likely due to the massive anti-police protests going on in America at the time following the death of George Floyd, and quietly cancelling Cops and Crooks was likely a way for Rockstar to avoid controversy, because when you think of it, releasing an entire DLC where you can be a cop in a game where you can shoot to unarmed civilians, where protests and riots about police brutality are happening all across the country, probably would net Rockstar a lot of unwanted attention. Now similar to the cancelled GTA 5 single player DLCs, namely Agent Trevor, remnants of the Cops and Crooks DLCs were split up and distributed across other updates, and many of the purchasable police vehicles such as the police bike, the Buffalo Cruiser, even a couple of free mode events were released much later. Weapons like the stun gun have also been added, and even a few of the outfits have as well. And yes, as said, these have been across various updates, since a lot of the heat from the 2020 protests and riots have died down since then. But it is safe to say the initial Cops and Crooks update that Rockstar wanted to go for initially will never happen in its intended concept. But at least we did get some of the stuff they worked on. Now Manhunt is without a doubt one of Rockstar's most controversial franchises, with both games getting slammed pretty hard for their at the time intense violence and gory content. But it seems that Rockstar were not letting that get in the way of making a third Manhunt. Initially anyway. Because it's stated that sometime around 2009 or 2010, Rockstar were in the very early stages of developing Manhunt 3. But unfortunately it never got off the ground fully. Only concepts for the story and concept arts were made, but as I'm making this video, neither concepts nor story details have leaked. The only things that have been confirmed was the game was going to be developed for the PS3 at least, because Rockstar wanted the game to support PlayStation Move, but unconfirmed if this was a PlayStation Move exclusive or if it was just optional support, especially since Manhunt 2 on the Wii also did utilise motion controls. The kicker with this is it is stated that Take-Two were the ones who said no to Manhunt 3. And this part is also a bit unconfirmed, but I wouldn't be surprised if the team were put down to work on GTA 5 instead, since 2010 is often said when GTA 5 did enter its full development phase. And that is it for this episode of Rockstar Games Lost Media. I hope you enjoyed, thank you for watching, and have a great day.